Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Prematch show. Europa Thursday is here. A game we're playing just for shits and giggles, but lineup is out. It's an interesting lineup. Gordo is here, Kazi is here, and guess what? It's still early in the morning, so Kermit is here too, making an appearance. He's back, baby. Okay, so the lineup is out. Gordo, what do you make of it? I mean, we did once and assortments, and perhaps we even wanted more youth than here, but this is pretty darn good, and it gets some playing time for people who need it.
It's definitely like one of the weakest lineups we've played, which is saying something. I think we talk about this all the time when we see the lineups, is the depth of our squad. I mean, when you look at that and the fact that, Salah doesn't even travel, and I think, it's wrapped up. But we were talking just before we jumped on, and I know that in the past there's been like Champions League fielding weaker teams. You get fined for it, but I think this is one. If there is a fine for Europa League, this is one that I think we'll take on the chin. Like, I don't think it matters right now. December is always so hectic with schedules, and we'll just pay the fine and move on. We've already gone through the group, so I don't see a big deal from Klopp.
In some ways, this is why you win your games early, Kazi. So you can have this, right? Especially at the best time to have. Well, I mean, in terms of being able to rest is the best time for the club. But at the same time, I was telling Gordo before we went on live. I mean, I was rooting for fucking Trent to win the FIFA thing. So, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to lose any freaking thing Liverpool related. Where are you at with this game?
I don't care.
Yeah, I mean,
I know it's horrible to say because it's a big day for Union and I get that, but I don't care. I hope we never play them again. Like, you know what I mean? It's no disrespect. It's like, it's one of those teams where you'll sit back on 5 years ago. Who do we play in the group again? McAllister's brother played for them. Who is it? It's what's going to be. And it's just what it is, But we've earned this right by winning the other games, and you've earned the right to rest before one of our biggest games of the season. So it's a lovely little place for the manager to be in. Don't think the manager could be asked. Don't think he can be bothered. He probably wants to sit there at home and go, I'd rather prepare for United. Do you know what I mean? But it's just what it is. You've got to do it.
How much goes into the momentum side of things, though? Like you know what I mean? Like, or does everybody in the squad kind of know, we're just playing this one?
How many weeks off where they've had a full week off in December have these lads had in the last 5 years? I can't remember.
Oh, in December, I can exactly.
That's what I'm saying. So even when we won 6 out of 6 in the Champions League one year, and we went to AC Milan, and he still took most of the big lads and played them, didn't he?
Yeah.
We won 2-1 because Nat Phillips done the famous turn, didn't he? That everyone always retweets. But the manager's earned this. The manager understands as well. Let's get it right. Liverpool are probably the favourites to the Europa League, especially when you look at the teams that dropped down from the Champions League. We're definitely the favourites of the Europa League, really. We got kind of lucky. No Newcastle, no United kind of stuff. Yeah. Seville, no Seville. Well, I think everyone celebrated that like it was like a World Cup fan. No Seville, thank God. Like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, mate, I'm pleased. And I'm excited to see Craig Gordon because I've been told he looks absolutely massive now. And we haven't seen him in a year. Like, he's put a load of weight on. He looks like a big, muscly man. So I'm excited to see big, muscly men. Yeah.
Gordo, how excited are you to see big muscly man?
I wasn't, but I wasn't. Now I definitely. I didn't know that was an option. It was like
now it's mouth-watering.
There's another Gordo in my life, Gordo. There's another one.
Yeah. I mean, let's line up here, and obviously there's a lot. I mean, Chris was saying it in the comments earlier. It's a huge chance, a great opportunity, as I would say. I wish Ox was here. He would be trying it out there right now, for example. But like a great opportunity for a lot of these kids to kind of like show their value. And I think the rest of the squad, even like the people that we see maybe more in the starting lineup or coming off the bench, are all players, Gordo, that have something to prove. So nobody is going to be taking this game as a rubber game like maybe we do.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing about those like fielding weaker teams, because of course it's not our strongest team, but these guys are going to play harder than I think our strongest team would play, right? Like, because these guys are going to want to go out there and prove something. This is like the the college basketball where those guys are playing both hard on defense and offense, not just offense to score. So it'll be interesting to see, and it could it could provide a good match. The other thing too is like Union, they have to beat us by 2 goals and hope that Toulouse either tie or Toulouse has to lose today. So like, it could be a very open game and it could be very easy if we play our cards right.
Yeah.
So I know Saito makes a good point, and I don't know, like, so do we look at the squad and figure out Sunday, Kazi, or do we look at the squad and maybe 45th minutes it's already set in stone that Nunez comes in for Gakpo and Gomez comes in for Konate and stuff?
I think you're right there, boys. I think it's going to be a bit more like that. I think after 45, I think the manager might do it. But if he doesn't do it after 45, I think we kind of know Nunez is getting the start. And Gomez might get the start centre half with Van Dijk against United. So that maybe it is. The Risk and Konate one's interesting because we haven't gone to the centre half. Who do you want to play them? Endo maybe? Because I supposedly he's done bits back in the day there.
I always take that as, somebody in Saudi Arabia is saying like Fabinho has done some bits as centre back too. You know what I mean?
I don't. Right. So I don't know who else Liverpool can play there. We haven't even got I think Kumetio might be still knocking about. Maybe, I don't know. So maybe that's why he's just got to play him. But that could be that. I think that's probably the one that is definitely the 45 sub. Is the Konate Gomez might be that's probably more likely than the Gakpo Nunez, I would say, because he hasn't got no options really there. And Kwanzaa, he did make the mistake for the pen on the weekend. You'd like him to go out and get some more minutes and make him feel a bit more comfortable, especially with West Ham next week as well, which is a massive cup game as well. So these lads at centre half will get minutes.
Yeah, I think that was I didn't think Kwanzaa played that bad, and obviously he gave up to PK, but I didn't think he played that bad to be subbed off. But at the same time, you do need some minutes on Konate as well, Gordo, because he's been out of action and he looks a little rusty, especially on the ball.
Yeah, you've got to get him minutes because honestly, since the World Cup, he hasn't looked like the same player. He's definitely been slow to the ball. He's had instances with injuries on and off, which that's always an indicator that you're just not fully match fit. So if Klopp wants to incorporate him back into the team, he's going to need minutes. So I think that's probably why we're seeing him here.
If you pick a player here, Kazi, out of all these muscly men, aside from you want to see Gordon, we got that very clearly. But aside from that, whose performance are you really looking at to kind of build on for the future? And I'm not talking distant future, near future.
Yeah, Endo's always interesting, isn't it? Because we just want to see more of them, I think, as Liverpool fans. We know what the others should
take. No, I didn't mean to cut you off, but I want to double up on that and ask you right back. If he does great over here, that might build his confidence, but does it build your confidence for Premier League?
Yeah, especially playing against those frauds on the weekend. That's starting still. Not disrespect the crap, aren't they? They're not good. We're playing a team who was 7th in the league, 8th in the league, and have scored 18 goals this season or something like that. Yeah. If I took the name Man United out and I just said to you, we're playing this team, you'd look and go, well, it's a fucking middle of the road home game at home at Startum. So why don't we should think like that? It's because the name is in our head and we're all cursed and we know it's a big game. So, but if I told you actually on the squad, so I would start him. Yes, that's why I think it's important these next two with West Ham as well, because they are home games. I get the Arsenal game might be a bit different for him, and the manager might think of something else. McAllister went from a scratch on his knee to, oh my God, I'm on gas in here. I have no idea what the manager's going on about. And then he explained it, to be fair. He did say it went right through his muscle kind of thing, and it's going to take a little bit longer. And I get that. But when the manager says, oh, he's got a bit of a cut on his knee, and then I see him in a fucking brace.
He made it he got stitched up. He's all good.
Someone put on Twitter going, what's he be? A cut on his knee? What bit of a shark? Fucking hell, he's in a crutch.
Yeah.
But no, so I would say Endo, Elliott and Jones, I know what we're getting. Gakpo, you do as well. Listen, the kids, not Kwanzaa really, but Bradley and Chambers, and they're not going to play again this season, are they? Let's get it right. They're not playing again this season. So it'd be interesting to see how they get on. But Liverpool are going deep in tournaments. Unfortunately for those kids, that's the problem as well. We drew Arsenal away in the FA Cup.
That's horrible. That is horrible.
That is, Chris. But
I think there's an option to put people on timeout, so you might.
If Liverpool drew a Gillingham in the cup, you'd start these kids, but we haven't. We threw Arsenal away, so it's just unfortunate for the kids there as well. So it's probably the last time you're going to see them for a while, innit? You know what I mean? So let's go out and have a bit of fun with it.
How about, okay, devil's advocate time? Do you think I mean, Van Doak is the only guy that I can think of, especially during the African Cup. Maybe he does get some looks. And I mean, I guess if Gordon has become this muscly man, that might be a possibility too. But do you look at those wingers, Gordo, as, hey, these guys might get a shot, or kind of like Kazi says, this is probably the last we're going to see of them for a while in a meaningful match?
I agree with Kazi. I think we've got enough depth up top that we can, providing, knock on wood, everybody stays healthy. Now, when you get 3 injuries to the squad up top, and now we are looking at bringing in Cade Gordon and Doak back in to supply the ranks when we need them. But I think that if we stay healthy and everyone keeps firing and we don't lose anybody to like a poor run of form, I think these guys probably won't see another big match. I mean, they might run them out against Sheffield or Luton on, when Luton come to Anfield or whatever, something like that. I don't know, but I don't think we're going to see them in another game that matters.
Having said that, let's continue on that. Wait, nobody wants to see that. Devil's advocates format over here. How about the right and left backs with our shoulders, especially if you don't sign anybody in January? God forbid something that happens to Konate or something like that. Now you lose your backup to all backs, Gomez. Do you think the performances over here matter in terms of earning a spot there, Gordo? I mean, Kazi, sorry.
I mean, yes and no, I suppose, but you've got to play this match still. We have to play the match. What's interesting to me is, though, like this graphic here, I've just checked. All the other graphics this season, the team has been in order. Who's playing right back and left? Like it goes right back, centre half, left back, like a normal team sheet. I think even the fella who does the graphics for Liverpool's like, I have fucking no idea. I have no idea.
I go first.
Like, I have no idea who these lads are. I think he's always sitting there going, I genuinely no idea. I reckon if that, what's it, number 83? I reckon if Hill broke into my house, I wouldn't know who he is. I have never seen him before. I don't even know he's a real person. So, as much as like the back and all that, I don't know who that is.
That sounds made up.
It does sound made up. Like they just got like King of the Hill, got him in. But it's just like, I don't know. This is what I'm saying. Like these kids, Chambers, and I think it was either one who was on loan at Preston last year, or was that Bradley? I can't remember. And he had a really good season. I think he was like their player of the year last year at like Preston, one of them. So, maybe that kind of stuff. But listen, it is what it is. You've got to play the game. And I think the manager's done pretty well. The lads who he's probably started out the seniors probably all need some minutes. That's the one thing I would say. The 5 or 6 senior players, they probably haven't started many. So we'll see what happens, mate. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for today, by the way. I don't care about the results at all. But I do think I'm with Gordo. I think it's just going to be end-to-end goals. And I don't think the manager's going to be asked. And he's going to have loads of fun with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoy these games actually in some ways because first of all, it's good for the heart overall, and second, which is rare, and at the same time, you do get to see some of these guys and kind of like get a peek into the future because it's one thing to be really killing it in the U18s and stuff, but kind of like coming to this stage and doing it in Europe. I know it's not like a great team we're playing against, but still, it's a different kind of pressure for the kid to perform under. So I think it always is more telling than what they do on the U teams. So in terms of subs, Gordo, I mean, so if these guys, I mean, you look at the bench, there are a lot of starters in there. There are some other kids in there and people who we don't know, or at least Kazi doesn't know. But do you think, if we talked about having these set minutes 45 or 60 and stuff, do you think we see some of the big boys get a run out, like 20 minutes or whatever, and just be like, just play it safe out there? Or we don't see these guys at all for 90 minutes and they just took a flight to go to Belgium and see the sights?
That's a good question because, this is essentially, if we didn't have the midweek game, they'd be training. And so everyone would get a little bit of a run out and they'd get a little bit of an exercise and they'd probably do a small side game or something like that. So if we go up, it's very possible to see the big guys just to give their legs a stretch, just get some time on the ball. But on the other side, if he doesn't really care, why not play Hill? So everyone can see what he looks like. So if he does break in our house, we can at least
Are you sure that came in Belgium?
I have no idea. Genuinely no idea who he is. If he don't go to Rome, I'll be livid.
It's like when you start a new FIFA season and you go through the team, you're like, who the fuck is that guy? And you're just like, all right, I'm selling him and then you see he doesn't even know. There's no photo in FIFA. generic guy.
When you're playing Football Manager and he comes in your DMs, you're not playing. Who the fuck are you? Get out.
Yeah.
Here's a bronze card is what I'm getting. I wonder even if some of these kids have cards on FIFA, by the way. I would be shocked if some of them even had a bronze card. But is that risky business, Kazi? Putting, let's say, Soboslai out there the last 20 minutes or something?
I'm trying to think of a game like 3 years ago. You lads will be able to help me. We had a dead rubber away from
Jota. Who forgets that game?
Which one?
Jota against Midtjylland or
Yeah,
whatever.
we played Midtjylland. That was it. And he brought Salah on the last 20. And everyone was like, "You've lost Jota already." And you're bringing... And I remember losing my shit. I think the referee added on like 10 minutes injury time. And the game went for like 106 minutes. And no team could... Like, Liverpool were qualified, Midtjylland were out. And everyone was just like, this is one game we just don't want to even play. Like, stop adding time.
It was after Jota went out, and you knew the moment he went out that it was like a big time going out, like it was a serious injury.
And I remember we all gave it, and the manager got stick for that. And I remember he brought Salah on that game for 20, and we all lost our mind. And I always remember that game now. So it's like the manager, as Gordo said, they probably would be training and probably playing against each other in like a 9v9 kind of 8v8 kind of thing. So maybe the lads might get 20. You might see some of the big boys get 20. And listen, every time Núñez can get the chance to get a goal, then why not take it? If you know what I mean. If we believe he's the player that he should be.
Oh, you just want to say Núñez.
Well, no, he's just that padding in. This is his perfect game. He starts his pads, and it's great, isn't it? And he goes, "Oh, look, he scored 20 goals, and he scores fucking 14 in the Europa League. Yeah, great." But there we are.
And that's the problem, right, Gordo? I mean, like, I feel like some of the players are in a no-win situation in a game like this. Like we were talking about Endo earlier. I mean, same thing with Núñez. Núñez comes in. I mean, he could score with his butts, like dribble to the line and like push it with his butts. It's not going to convince Kazi that he's ready to go. He built his confidence or anything like that. So even if you perform well, how big of a gauge is this for? I mean, we know how much of a gauge I guess it is for us, but for someone like Klopp, how big of a gauge do you think it is? Because that's a tad more important.
I think, honestly, does he take a lot of... I mean, you perform. You want him to perform. He's one of the guys that I think Klopp thinks about as being not so much a Salah replacement, but somebody that we're going to get a combination of Salah's goals when he goes. I mean, we're kind of in that mode right now where we kind of have to think about either Salah extends his contract and he stays with us and, he slowly declines because that's what happens to strikers when they get older. And we need to find some way to replace his 30, 40 goals a season. And Núñez is one of the pieces. He's not going to get us 30, 40 goals a season, but he's one of the pieces that you put enough of those guys together, you kind of combined that loss. And so this is a game that he should be scoring. So I think it's one of these, like, he performs poorly, it's bad for him. He performs good, he doesn't care. It's what he should be doing. So
a lose for the poor bastard. Curtis Jones is actually getting the armband.
Yeah.
He's like captain of the team.
Yeah, he will. Yeah, he got it against Leicester in the League Cup.
Yeah, and I think he does perform well. I think it kind of puts a pep in his step. I mean, how far has that kid come in terms of like maturity? And I think I would be scared if Curtis like a year or two ago had the armband, but now I have a lot more confidence because I do feel like he gets it now a lot more than.
One thing I want to mention here, Tim, can you bring up the team again? Because I'm pretty sure he's probably going to do Elliott on the right wing. Which is that because I mentioned this before on the previous podcast, is that a precedent for when Salah leaves for the AFCON? Is he like maybe looking at Elliott on the right with his left foot cutting in? You know what I mean? Maybe is that something that we might be able to see again today? Because he has done it in certain games this season when Salah's went off. He threw Elliott right wing for 15-20. He has definitely done it. So is this Elliott's first start maybe in that position? It looks like to me. Unless he puts Gordon there. I don't know.
I figured Doak would be on the right. And I don't know.
Gordon used to play on the right, didn't he? That's what I'm saying. Gordon used to play on the right.
Yeah. So, there are too many people and on the right, nobody on the left.
Yeah. For the first time ever, Liverpool got 3 right wingers. Yeah. We have no idea where they're playing. We had Salah for 6 years and had no backup, and now we've got 3.
Let me ask you guys that, though. I mean, I feel like Elliott can do Chris has Gordon on the left. I feel that maybe. I agree with that. I think Doak is on right and Gordon is on left. But, I mean, I think Elliott can do a lot of the stuff that Mo I mean, he's not Mo. Nobody's going to be Mo, but that Mo does in terms of creating and setting up those triangles on the right hand side. The only concern I would have would be the pace, as we usually leave Mo for that long ball counter. You're not going to get that. Do you almost like reverse that role with like somebody like Nunez or something like that when Elliott plays, Gordo? Because you're not going to have that top speed to go over the top.
I when we first jumped on and I looked at the lineup before we went live, I literally, because normally it is like Kazi said, it's in the order of the team sheet, and I was like, Kwanzaa's up top, and then I realized it was in numerical. I just think there's just too many factors. Like there's plenty of places that people could be put in and out, and it'll be interesting to see how they actually line up. And then, I mean, a lot of games like Klopp will be fluid, so maybe they switch wings, or maybe they're told to switch wings, or Klopp's using this as a training routine. And all right, let's see, Elliott on the right today, and then 45 minutes that's not really working. Let's switch him. Ben Doak, you're on the right now, and see, the different combinations that we get. I just think there's too many factors here to decide where Klopp is thinking. Because again, whoever runs the Twitter for Liverpool had no idea what the lineup was going to be.
Let's just do numbers.
No idea. And the other part of this as well, I think he's probably communicated with the under 23 manager. He really has probably communicated with him. And what you reckon? Where do you see Gordon or Doak on the right? And he goes, "Oh, I fancy Doak." And they have those conversations as well for these type of games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And get these lads in, because, and again, the under 23s, as much as we like, the manager still has a job there to do. And as much as it is to promote players, he's going to have monthly meetings probably with the manager about these young kids coming through and go, "I think this kid needs to get promoted and come to training, and you can have another look at him," kind of stuff. So he's probably communicating there as well. I'm so excited, Like, I don't care about the result. I don't care if you lose 5-0. I'm not interested. I'm just so excited about the game because I just fancy.
I think Klopp would be interested in that, though. Like, he would not want to get stuck. And that's why Chris says Kwanzaa going full Stephen Cocker there. Yeah, we were talking about it. Like, we're like, how bad is Jota's injury that we're trying to let Kwanzaa up top? But I feel like, I mean, you look at the squad, my guess is you have a pretty solid back line. Obviously, the right and left back are the kids, but they're experienced kids relatively compared to, some of the names on the bench. I feel like you do have a solid midfield where shit happens with Endo, Elliott, and Jones, people who know how to play midfield for this club. And then you tell the kids up top, do what you can. When Doak gets the ball, take a man on. When Gordon gets the ball, take a man on, and you have Gakpo in the middle for that like interplay kind of thing. I feel like you play midfield safe and then just kind of see what the kids do up front. And that kind of eliminates, I think, Gordo, the fact that you're not going to get smashed if you have a midfield that's experienced and knows what the hell to do.
Yeah, I'm thinking now, if we go, let's say we do run away with this one, and it is 5 or 6, does that put more pressure on you? Like, are you more nervous about the weekend or less? Does it make you less nervous?
I'm already nervous about the weekend, but that's like
no, I know, but like if we go and score 5 here and keep a clean sheet, I feel like it makes me more nervous for some reason for the weekend.
I don't know. I feel like they probably, even the players, see this as totally separate things, like not even like an actual game. I mean, it's kind of hard to say that, but I feel like Kazi, like they look at this game, the kids see it as like a huge opportunity to show themselves. The squad guys, see it as an opportunity to show themselves, but nobody is really holding it. This might be one of the rare cases where this game at a time thing comes true.
Yes, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I don't think they care. It doesn't affect it. It doesn't affect the weekend. And again, they're garbage. I can't put this in. I know you're nervous and I get it, but Liverpool are at home and Liverpool are great at home. We need to remember that. Doesn't matter who we play, Liverpool usually win at home. So this game is kind of like a one-off. It just gives good minutes to players who need minutes as well for the starters. Because I've just actually checked there, because we were talking about players coming through and moments and stuff. I just remember the player called Frauendorf who played last year in the League Cup. The German kid played centre mid. He was unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just checked if he's still here. He's still at Liverpool. He's not even on the bench. I don't know. So this is what I'm saying. That's how much we can take out of these games. They mean nothing. Clearly, we all. I remember that day when he played. Everyone was like, "He looks good." he could be the future. And he hasn't been seen since. And he can't play in a dead rubber in the Europa League. So that's what the manager thinks as well. It is what it is. He's just got to go out there because he has to go out there. It might be one of them, which when he usually does like Pep Linders, and he usually sends him out for a few of the League Cup games. I reckon if this wasn't like UEFA's tournament, he would have rolled him out. Honestly, I don't think it matters at all for the weekend.
I mean, yeah, I think for some of the guys, like I think like Hill, he comes out there, yeah, probably you might never see him ever again.
Yeah,
but I think especially the kids in the starting 11. There's a reason why they're in the starting 11. I think it's a bit more for them, Gordo, in terms of, I don't know, claiming your name and, like kind of like emphasizing like that you are closer than everybody else to making it to the team.
Yeah, for them, it's a big deal for sure. I mean, this is their chance to, hey, I play here too. I know we don't have a conversation to talk, but, I'm on the team. I wear the badge. So yeah, definitely it's massive for them, and it does feel real good. I mean, it's akin to in high school and you get called up to the varsity team and you're sophomore or freshman for a big game, when somebody's injured. So it's your chance to kind of at least state to the club that you're there and available and you can do a job in the first team. Unfortunately though, especially with like bigger teams like Liverpool, you find your gaps more so through the transfer market than through your youth program. So most of these kids it's almost an audition for another team. It's very rare, that the kids slot in and fill the positions that we need them to. So it's more of an individual thing for them than it is for like, hey, I can be part of this team next year. It's more of a, hey, I can be really good in the championship, next year for Everton or something like that.
Hey, look that low blow there, Gordo.
Way to squeeze that in there. Before we go, don't forget
subscribe, smash that like button,
as Bickler said, and grab, like I say, as always, grab another Liverpool fan and say, hey, follow these bozos and get them on board. The boys will be back tonight doing the post match for us. But before we go, as always, let's get the predictions. Gordo, let's start with you.
I'm saying 4-0. I say like Union has to play open, and I say we just carve them apart.
Okay.
Kazi. I'll go 5-3. Canate has a bit of a nightmare. Everyone goes, fucking hell, he can't play in the Premier League, and then he plays on the weekend and he's fucking man of the match. Because that's what happens in these type of games. So 5-3 Liverpool.
I forgot what I said 2 days ago, but the more I talk to you guys, I do feel like it would be like a 4-2 win or something like that. I think it is pretty open, or like a 4-1 or something like that. I don't know, the way the back line is, somebody's gonna have some kind of a goof up set piece or something like that, but we're gonna concede, I think. But I think Gordo is right though. Like we're gonna have space behind, and we have Gakpo and stuff, especially if towards the end you do throw Nunez and stuff over there. I mean, we all know what a great striker he is, Kazi. So he will be. He will get some goals there.
Just leave him in Union. He might not start for them.
Okay, before we get really in big trouble here, let's call the show. And like I say, thanks as always for joining us. Tune in tonight for the post match with the boys, 7:00 Central. They'll be on, and right afterwards will be the fantasy nerds giving you tips for that fantasy game that those kids play. Enjoy the game, everybody. Have a great day. We'll see you guys tonight. Take care.